When you are at the crossroads, remember the story of the man who sold his 10% of Apple for $800, the true story of Ron Wayne. In 1976, a man sold his 10% stake in a fledgling tech startup for $800. That startup was Apple Computer. Had he held onto it, that share would be worth hundreds of billions of dollars today. Instead, he lives a modest life, largely funded by Social Security, in a small town in Nevada. This is the story of Ron Wayne, the forgotten third founder of Apple. The founding trio. On April 1st, 1976, Steve Jobs, Steve Wozniak, and Ronald Wayne founded Apple Computer. The partnership was a balance of personalities. Steve Jobs, the visionary, driven but financially strapped. Steve Wozniak, the engineering mastermind, focused on creation, not business. Ron Wayne. At 41, he was the experienced adult, brought in to mediate disputes and provide business oversight. Wayne was no mere bystander. He drafted the original partnership agreement, wrote the Apple I manual, and even designed the company's first logo, an intricate illustration of Isaac Newton under a tree. The decision to walk away. Wayne's 10% stake came with a heavy price: unlimited personal liability. As a general partnership, if the company failed, its debts could be pursued against the partner's personal assets. This fear became real for Wayne just days later. Jobs secured a $15,000 loan to build the first batch of Apple I computers. For the young Steves with little to lose, it was a gamble. For Wayne, who owned a house and had savings, it was a terrifying risk. The prospect of creditors seizing his personal assets kept him up at night. Just 12 days after signing the founding agreement, Ron Wayne made his decision. He returned to the nascent company, handed over his written withdrawal, and relinquished all his shares for a total of $2,300, $800 initially, followed later by another $1,500. The staggering what if. What Wayne couldn't have known was the meteoric rise that would follow. The most painful irony came just 1 year later in 1977, when Apple was incorporated. This move introduced limited liability, meaning Wayne's personal assets would have been permanently shielded from company debts. Had he held on for just 12 more months, he would have retained his 10% stake with zero personal risk. So what was that 10% stake ultimately worth? It's crucial to clarify that a 10% stake from 1976 would not be 10% of Apple today. Successive rounds of investment, stock splits, and dilution mean that the original share would be a much smaller percentage. However, its value would still be astronomical. At the 1980 IPO, a non-diluted 10% stake would have been worth around $200 million. Today, that same non-diluted stake would be worth over $300 billion. In reality, the stake would have been heavily diluted. Even a significantly reduced holding would be worth many billions, making Wayne one of the wealthiest people in the world. Instead, he returned to a salaried job at Atari, ran a small stamp and coin shop, and never re-entered the tech industry. A life without regret. In a cruel twist of fate, the original Apple founding contract that Wayne drafted and signed sold at auction in 2011 for $1.6 million, over 695 times more than he received for his actual stake in the company. Even the paperwork of his exit became more valuable than the exit itself. When asked about his decision, Ron Wayne has consistently expressed no regret. He has stated that, given the information and his personal circumstances at the time, he made the logical choice for his own peace of mind. "I would have been the richest man in the cemetery," he once remarked, reflecting on the stress that likely would have come with Apple's explosive growth. He reportedly uses an Android phone and watches from the sidelines as the company he helped create continues to shape the modern world. What can we learn from Ron Wayne's story? Context is everything. Wayne's decision wasn't irrational fear. It was a calculated risk assessment based on his age, assets, and the legal structure of the time. The unforeseen future, a decision that seems prudent today can, with hindsight, appear to be a catastrophic mistake. The future is inherently unpredictable. Value beyond wealth. Wayne prioritized personal stability and peace of mind over a potentially ruinous gamble. His story challenges the assumption that unimaginable wealth is the only definition of success. The fragility of fortune. Some of history's greatest fortunes were built on a foundation of timing, luck, and surviving moments of near collapse. Ron Wayne's story is a powerful reminder that our choices are made with the information we have at the time. While his decision may be history's most expensive what if, it was for him the right one. But if you could start at the crossroads with the end in mind, a clear image of what you decided the outcome would be, if money were no concern, and in one click, the move not taught in school could be yours. Whether you speak English, French, Spanish, Japanese, Thai, or Korean, not an issue. Djamee Raphael offers you his method on his website, accompanied by an exclusive video for the 6 languages he selected. These videos are only available from djamee.com. The book is available on Amazon. All details from the first comment.